In this interview, I got to speak with Cristie Carter Bake, who serves as Director of Advocacy for Mormon Women for Ethical Government, or MWEG. MWEG is a nonpartisan national organization with various areas of focus, but its work regarding advancing democracy involves fair redistricting, voter access and security, open primaries in certain states, and much more. MWEG is currently involved in a lawsuit against the Utah State Legislature regarding partisan gerrymandering. There's more information in the description on how you can get involved. I hope you enjoy the interview.
So MWEG is about 9 years old. We started in January of 2017. And during that time, we have grown and evolved a lot. At this point, we have about 10,000 members nationwide in all 50 states and are growing, continuing to grow. Started as just like a little Facebook group and then developed into a more formal organization like we have today. We have a federal advocacy team that works on issues at the federal level, and then we have state advocacy teams in Utah, Idaho, Arizona, and smaller ones in Nevada and Texas. And we're looking to expand to other states in the next year or so as well. So they're mostly in the West, where we have a pretty high concentration of our members. We have 4 advocacy areas: advancing democracy, immigration, environment, and family health and well-being. But obviously our electoral work is housed in our advancing democracy advocacy area. And then MWEG is actually much broader than just advocacy. We have a whole communities team. We have a whole women's empowerment team that does work around principled voting and citizenship and just like civic knowledge, things like that. Media literacy is a big one for us, helping our members understand and think critically about news sources and the information that they encounter in their daily lives. We're probably most known for our work around redistricting. We had a lawsuit against the Utah State Legislature that's ongoing, so I'm not really going to comment on that. So we've also done some work around against gerrymandering and mid-cycle redistricting in a lot of the states where that's currently happening, regardless of who's driving it. So we've come out against gerrymandering in California, Virginia, Texas, Kansas, I think. So just generally believe that politicians should not be able to choose their voters, but that voters should be the ones choosing their politicians. We've also done some work around like open primaries, or we had a group in Idaho working on ranked choice voting a couple of years ago. We're not necessarily committed to any single sort of electoral reform and are open to the states being laboratories and experimenting with different forms of electoral reform.
I was curious, what has been your experience working with students and younger folks as volunteers and interns?
So we've done some of both. We do have an internship program at MWEG where we take on several interns every semester. Our media literacy team takes on interns really regularly, and there are other internship opportunities within MWEG, but most of them just don't sit on advocacy. We're a fully remote office, so we don't actually have a physical location anywhere. That said, if the position is tied to like state politics, we will want someone who's like physically in the state. So that's really the only time we have a geography requirement, is if it's really tied to the work. Other than that, we're all remote. We're all spread all over the place. Yeah, the state doesn't matter at all to us unless it's tied to state legislative work. And we don't have a state legislative team in California, so that opportunity wouldn't be available. But any of our other internships would absolutely be available to students in California. As far as post-grad, we do have a Young Professionals Council, the pilot program this year, but it's been really fun to see. It's for people in grad school or who are young working professionals who have completed their degree. They've been providing some really great input to some of our newer programs and systems we're trying to develop as well.
Awesome. Let's see what else. So I know on the survey you mentioned that you partner with universities to do research a couple times a year. I'm just
Mhm.
curious about that process, and I'm also curious if you're engaged in other types of work on university campuses.
Events at universities. We don't have like university specific events, but we host a lot of our in-person events at universities. So, for example, our conference every year is held um, at Utah Valley University in Utah, and we offer scholarships to our conference for students, and we have like student lunches at our conference every year. We just had the conference about a month ago. It's always in March. And then also offer scholarships to any university students, not just the ones at UVU, but pretty much any university student can get a scholarship. At BYU through the Ballard Center, they have a program that pairs student teams with organizations and they solve an organizational issue. So we've used those teams in various capacities. Recently, we used a team to develop a program here on the advocacy team, but MWEG more broadly has used research teams from BYU to look into like various problems or programs worth looking at running and helping design some solutions for us. And then we'll frequently get members of those teams who work for us through research come back and volunteer or take on other positions. So that's been a really great way for us to meet students and connect with them.
Amazing. And then anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Well, that's all I have for today.
Okay.